What's going on, everyone? So it's been a minute since I talked about the iPhone XR, and I wasn't even going to talk about it for like a little bit longer, only because like there's really nothing new that's been added. It actually turned 3 months old just 2 days ago, and I didn't even make a video about it because I really didn't want to. But after some thorough research, I've been seeing that there's still a lot of hate going for the iPhone XR, and I hated on it too. I'm not gonna lie. I did a lot of videos talking about why I hated it, or more so why I didn't like it and why I think it was it wasn't a waste of money, but it just wasn't the best value per dollar. But I don't want to take anything I said back. I still kind of agree with those points, but after it's been out for a little while, I do think that nothing of this phone really changed that much, but we kind of got adapted to it. And honestly, at this point, I don't think it's a waste of money. I don't think it's a horrible value. I think it's not a good value per dollar, but I think at this point, it's definitely not that bad. And a lot of ways, my opinion has changed on it a little bit. Now, one of the first things I kind of want to address is the screen. Okay, the screen was one of those things a lot of people complained about. And upon like using it throughout the day, and I never used it as a main phone, but I did use it like almost like at least like every week for something. And if you've never seen an iPhone XR, if you've never used one, it's kind of hard to demonstrate it over the screen. But one thing that I've noticed is like the resolution itself, it really doesn't even look that bad. I mean, if I'm using it just as a phone itself like this, it's really not that bad of a panel, I'm not gonna lie. But it's like when you like flip through the screen, for some reason, it kind of just like looks kind of like choppy, the animations. It just looks like it's kind of lagging a little bit. Whereas on like my iPhone X, it's like seems like it's instantaneous. With this one, it just looks like it's a little bit laggy. And I noticed the same thing with like my iPhone 6s and my iPhone 8 because the same resolution, the same PPI and everything. I don't know if that has everything to do with it. This is also a much bigger panel. And because it has less pixels to push than like an iPhone X, I figured it would be more like faster, but I guess that's not really the case. But that's pretty much in terms of just the screen itself, and I think that the screen resolution and the way the screen looks really isn't even that bad in my opinion. Or it could be that I just got adapted to it. That's also a possibility. The next thing I want to address is the body. And honestly, like I kind of hated on it too because it still doesn't feel as premium as an iPhone X or even XS or whatever. And you might be surprised why. Well, it's because of the chassis of the phone. It feels literally just like an iPhone 6s chassis. But again, over time, I definitely feel like I got adapted to it. Like I pick it up and I actually I still think it feels kind of weird. It doesn't feel cheap, it just feels weird because you have like the iPhone 6s Plus like sides of the phone, but you have glass on the back and it's kind of funny. It's kind of like an iPhone 8, but in my opinion, this feels a little bit less premium than an iPhone 8 or 8 Plus just because of that, whatever the texture, this material is. But really, I don't even think it's that bad of a body. It could be better 100%, but honestly, like if you're putting a case on it or something, you probably won't even notice the difference. Now, the big thing I want to hit on is the battery life, okay? Compared to my iPhone X, let me just show you my iPhone X right now. The battery life on my iPhone X isn't really amazing anymore. I don't know why. I think it has a lot to do with the software, but if you turn it to the side, the battery on this thing, it's just so weird because it sticks out, and I like using it because I get that much extra battery life, but it's kind of annoying because it's like that much heft to it. But the iPhone XR, now with the battery case with my iPhone X, the 10 will definitely outlast the iPhone XR. But when you consider like the little bit added thickness that the iPhone XR brings and the bigger battery, this thing has the best battery life of any iPhone. That has a lot to do with the screen, the bigger sized battery, all those things, but I honestly think that in and of itself is a humongous reason why the iPhone XR still kind of surprises me, because for an iPhone X, I have to get an additional iPhone XR case, whatever this thing is, the battery case. That was like $100 something. And with the iPhone XR, you don't really have to do that. Even though, like I said, the iPhone X still has better battery life, the iPhone XR is like still pretty respectable in a lot of ways. Now, another huge thing, software support. This thing is going to be lasting for a very long time. So that's a humongous reason why you should be able to consider this. And I never really considered that as like a cool option. Like, I mean, I knew it, but like, I guess we kind of underestimate how long these phones are going to last. I don't even think I updated this thing yet. Yeah, I haven't updated. I'll update right now. But we kind of take that for granted because we look at all these other phones and they're kind of being supported. My voice is great. That's a pretty big thing too. And the last thing I kind of want to hit on is 3D touch. We kind of hit on that. I hit on it quite a bit. And even though I'm still super salty that they took it away, apparently Apple's going to go and start taking it away from all the devices. And I think there's going to be huge uproar. But me personally, I think the haptic touch that they added is kind of a little bit better than if they never added it at all. And even though 3D touch is one of those features that I use almost like daily, or if not like weekly, whatever, I think if they removed it, that would just be making people more adapted to it. So the iPhone XR in a way could help you kind of bridge that gap. I know a lot of people who own an iPhone X. I don't know a lot of people, but from what I'm reading online, a lot of people who own the iPhone XR did get used to it. So, and sometimes they don't even realize that they even like had it or whatever. So that kind of ends it off. And again, this is kind of bittersweet because like it's not a horrible phone. I don't think I've ever stated it was a horrible phone. If I did, then I apologize. But I don't think it's a horrible phone. I don't think it's a bad phone. I just don't necessarily think it's like the best value per dollar. But as more time progresses, I do think that if you can find a good deal on it, used prices of this thing have gone down quite a bit. In the used market, you could probably find one for around $600, probably less than that. Brand new, they're over $750. So I would probably recommend getting used at this point. I mean, I have a 64 gigabyte version, and I'm sure you can find a 64 gig version of an iPhone XR for like $600, probably less than that. I would check eBay, a lot of other websites too. But the thing is, you can also pick up an iPhone 10 on Amazon for less than an iPhone XR. So I'll link an iPhone 10 in the description below. If I find an iPhone XR, I'll link that down below too. But the iPhone 10 I think is around $600 something, whereas a brand new iPhone XR is like $750, over $750. So I'll link that in the description below if you guys want to check that out. But yeah, those are just some of my opinions on the iPhone XR, and I think that my opinion has changed a little bit. I used to hate on it, but I think as like I said, more and more, I just realized my XR and my shirt matches, bro. What the heck? But yeah, as more and more time progresses, I think that I kind of am starting to fall in love with this phone, or I'm starting to tolerate it a little bit more. So that's just kind of my opinion on it. I guess this is kind of like an updated 3-month review too, but that's pretty much it, man. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it'll mean so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel, all those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.